Hey rollers, I'm excited to share some video from my latest tournament. It's been almost 2 years since the last time I competed, so I wanted to get back on the mat and test my skills. Unfortunately, there was no one in my division, so I was matched up with Josh, a younger and more aggressive opponent. I did some internet stalking and found out that Josh was a former professional MMA fighter. This didn't do much for my confidence. I understand that jiu-jitsu is very different from MMA, but there's some obvious carryover. I have nothing but respect for the kind of guys that can get to a professional level of training and competing in MMA. Our match started off with some standard grip attempts and feints, but I got the sense that he wanted to keep distance. I figured he was setting up a shot, and I was ready to sprawl and counter with a guillotine or kimura. Well, I thought I was ready. He scooped up a single leg, and while I looked to lock up a kimura, he switched to a body lock and dumped me back on my butt. This was a well-executed move, and I wonder if he may have dialed in the technique after he was caught with basically the same takedown in a certain MMA match. I say this because I know that some of my best techniques came from feeling their effectiveness in competition. Back to the match, Josh had earned 2 points for the takedown and had me in side control. He tried to add some neon belly points, but I said, nah. I risked a Von Flu choke by trying to set up something silly, but quickly thought better of it. Here's where I fought to my side and managed to catch his right leg and lock it down. One of my favorite moves from here is to dig my right arm under and look for an electric chair. He prevented me from turning hard to the right by controlling my head and then straight arm pinning my left arm down and keeping his weight low. You'll see me try for the electric chair a few times in this match. Let me know in the comments, do you ever find yourself going for the same sweep or submission even if you have to force it a bit? When I got my arm free, I tried a quick cross-collar choke, and when he defended that, I tried to work under for the electric chair, but got denied.
All right, Josh, so you can hug around his hips too, okay? Hug around his upper thighs, his hips, and then sprawl.
I reached over for a kimura, but he kicked free of the lockdown and circled away from my legs for another pass. Hold on, it gets worse. He tried to circle around to my back, and I gave up the easiest mount in history. These are the worst, or best, kind of combinations in jiu-jitsu. In seconds, he earned 7 points, 3 for the pass and 4 for mount. The points came so fast and furious that the scorekeeper actually missed the 3 passing points, so I'm actually down 9-0 at this point.
David, let's get our grips.
Well, that's quite a hole you're digging.
Grips and go, David.
Josh worked up to a high mount, threatening an Ezekiel choke or a mounted triangle. I used this little window of opportunity to frame and create enough space to re-engage my legs, eventually settling into bottom half guard.
Set up your guard there, David.
The ref noticed that Josh was missing his guard passing points and went to correct the score. There we go, 9-0. That's better.
There you go.
This is playing right into my strategy. I've let Josh wear himself out with all that top control and point getting. Since I've just been laying around losing a match, I have all kinds of energy. I think about arm bars, triangles, and kimuras from the bottom, but what I really need to do is to get top position. Josh shuts down all of my ideas and almost goes straight to mount again. Yikes. I don't like what's going on here, so I create distance and try to use my butterfly hook to sweep him to the right.
Cut that knee in. You can cut your left
I had
knee.
another chance, but he did a great backstep, so I tied up his left leg instead. I couldn't come up to complete the sweep because he was pinning my left arm and my head was out of position.
Position first, Josh. Position
Before I
first,
could pop my head loose, he spun back on top and into my half guard.
Get that knee in front of him, David.
He isolated my left arm again, but this gave me the chance to set up a head and arm choke. I tried to pull him into full guard, but I couldn't make it happen.
Get your hand on the other side of his head. Your left arm, yes, other side of his head, okay?
Instead, I cinched down the lockdown and finally got the electric chair position.
Remember, grip around the waist again. Go back, go back.
I tested his flexibility for a minute, but he showed no real concern, so I worked to take away his basing arm and get that sweet, sweet top control.
Keep that arm posted.
The great thing about the electric chair sweep is that it flows beautifully into an over underpass.
Keep your hand on the hip. Keep working, keep working. David, keep working.
I was running out of time fast, so I immediately looked to isolate his far side arm. Before I could lock anything up, he spun out and grabbed at my right leg. I couldn't get to his back, so I worked to pull his right arm out where I could do some twisting. He tucked it in tight, so I let go, looking at the clock only to see that time was not my friend, and the score was something that could only be appreciated by Dolly Parton.
Advance, advance, advance.
As you can imagine, I wasn't too pleased with how this match went. I've been at this game a long time, but I still have lots of work to do. Thanks to Josh for shutting down some of my old faithfuls and highlighting some areas for me to improve. And thank you for watching. Please consider liking this video, subscribing, and leaving a comment. See you next time.